Hi there, everybody. This is John Drew here from Elevated Planet.
Angela Gabrielle here from Elevated Planet, and we'd like to welcome you to today's show, where you can decide whether it's truth or deluded nonsense. But in the meantime, John is going to tell us more about it.
Yes, as always, we would always say, whatever we come out with, whether it appears like deluded nonsense, it's our truth, right? So
That's right.
we got integrity behind what we do. But again, as to whether it is your truth is everybody's individuated choice, and discernment is one of the most important things on the planet right now. So, if in doubt, research it and work it out. What
Exactly.
is your truth going to be? Oh, but one thing I would always say is don't be railroaded by the ego into just sticking with the thing that you've been taught for decades. Because, for 57 years, I thought all this stuff was woo-woo nonsense. 7 years
Yeah.
later, 7 years later now, I'm kind of like loving the journey into discovering the nature of consciousness and the human experience. And Jola, you're responsible for a lot of that as well because I've learned so much through you.
Well, thank you, John, so much. I
Yeah.
appreciate it, and it's the same here. Thank you for supporting me.
Well, I think we've been brought together for a reason, and we get brought together with members of our community as well for a reason because we are out here making it happen together. And thank you, Kit, for your kind words. And it's great to have Joanne there as well, who's second that love. Love you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So, yeah, so again, we're back with Dr. David Clements again today. And, you know, this guy is special. He really is. I mean, there's a reason he's here on the planet, connected to all these different galactic races who come through him. The Arcturians, the Pleiadians, the Andromedans, and more. Elohim as well is another one. And the stuff that comes through him for this is so profound, and it helps him to elevate himself beyond scientific, boxed in kind of version of scientist into this now expansive version of consciousness that he is exploring and able to explain things to us so well. So really, really love what he does. But I will also say I love what Elizabeth April does as well because she does this with profound integrity and on behalf of humanity. And I know that she's discovered as well in her past lives, she's done things like this in the past. As I think a lot of people who find themselves broadcasting to big audiences, they've done this in past lives as well. And in the past lives, often that people have been, who knows, burnt at the stake as witches or whatever, right? All that stuff has gone on for so many years. Now that's not what's happening. Now the vibration is going up. Now our frequencies are rising along with the planet, and it's a really exciting time. What a joy it is to be on this journey, and you know, I think it's really interesting to uncover this one layer at a time, and today is no exception. We've got several layers of new unfolding to appear before us. So, what do you reckon there, Jolie? Do you think we leap in?
Yep, it's time to get on with the show because it's quite exciting and eye-opening.
Yes, yes, it is indeed. So we're going to start off with our friend Elizabeth at the first instance, and so therefore, if you bear with me a second, we will go and join Elizabeth. Thank you.
So there was another being that came through, and she mentioned something super fascinating. I've actually never heard this before. I'm guessing that someone out there has used this term. I've personally never used this term. This being called it emotional fasting. Because I kind of said, okay, great. So we're in it. We are in this dark night of the soul. We are all sort of getting challenged and suffering and changing and transitioning and purging and all the things. What do we do about it? And one of her pieces of advice was to emotionally fast. And essentially, it's about taking a step back and gaining access to a perception from a place of objective observation. Objective observation is just neutrality. It's 0 point. Once again, you're not looking at it from the victim's perspective. You're not looking at it as the wife or as the neighbor, or as the coworker, or as the mother or the father, or what have you. You're taking a look at it objectively, not personally, right? You are removing yourself from the situation and observing it. Now, of course, we can't stay in that place. We can't, because in order to move through something, you do have to allow yourself to be in it. So one of the other beings suggested something, well, I mean, I coined this term, but they were also recommending experiencing all levels of polarity, which means experience the love, experience the fear, and then the third level is experience the neutrality, objective observation. I call it, or I've coined the term, vibrational navigation, the ability to connect and subsequently disconnect from any aspect of your reality. And we can do this consciously. If you are in it, if you're in the challenge, be in the challenge, be in the experience, be in the emotion, but also find something grateful about it as well. You know, sometimes having a perspective of, yeah, I'm really in this emotional situation, but I can still fill my fridge with food and I can still drink clean drinking water. And that's more to say than a lot of people in the world right now. So having a different perspective is also very key to gratitude and having that higher vibration. Okay. And then it's also important to be like, whoa, in 5 years from now, I'm going to look back at this period and kind of laugh. This is ridiculous what's going on. And having that sort of objective, neutral perspective of your life right now. Okay. That's also really important. Just totally removing yourself emotionally from it. We also need to do this collectively. Yes, the world is going crazy and there's wars and there's famine and there's aliens that are going to invade and there's nuclear nukes being talked about and there's Trump. I mean, there's like a lot of things going on. Yeah, it's crazy, but try not to get sucked into the dramas of the planet, because all that's going to do is externalize your focus. And if we're externalizing our focus, then we're not actually manifesting and creating our individual reality. And if you don't have the current power to create your individual reality, then you're definitely not creating or helping to create any sort of profound, conscious, external, collective reality. If you can't do your own, then don't even worry about it. You're feeding into the matrix if you're feeding into these individual dramas.
I believe that gratitude is so important right now, and regardless of the external noise, I really don't feel that it's difficult to find things to be grateful for. Also, that sense of future perspective is important, because I know Elizabeth is right when she suggests that we will look back on these challenges in the years to come and be able to laugh at what we've been through, because the ultimate outcome of this is a world of unspeakable beauty, and we have to allow the old false matrix and everything that has helped to create that old paradigm reality to fall away, whether that be in the external world or within us, coming up for resolving and dissolving to enable us to move forwards. And it's definitely a time for us to forge into like-minded communities, because that collective consciousness thing is mighty powerful and helps us avoid getting sucked into the false narratives that are here to test us. That way we don't get tempted into feeding that false matrix, and instead we can shine our lights ever brighter. Jolie, what do you reckon?
Emotional fasting. But that's a good word to describe neutrality, as well as leaning into the positives, right? Leaning into the solution. And that's kind of what I interpret Elizabeth April as saying. She's saying, bring in the light, bring in the dark. And then that third level is one of neutrality. Really, to be neutral, I don't want to say things need to be balanced, because when they're balanced, things don't move, right? You think of a scale and you think of the balance. You don't want it to move. But when things are harmonized, right? Harmony is when things start to flow. And when we're at a neutral place and detaching from our life and the environment and what's going on out in the world, we're able to sort of get clear about our next steps in our life and how to align with our purpose, and then move on into the world. But more than anything, it calms our energy. That calm is what then puts things in motion. When we're moving so fast and beating our feet, which is what we do in this life because we've been taught, that slave construct means move fast, get it done. What we're doing is a little piece of us kind of erodes away, and you begin to see this kind of person that becomes hardened. But to get to that neutrality, that solution, oftentimes we need to be malleable. And in order to do that, we want to look for ways in which to thrive. We want to lean into the energy of joy, of positivity, and amusement. It seems like we keep beating on this same drum. Problems are never going to go away. We know that. Elizabeth April spoke about change being really the only true constant. Nevertheless, if it is true that we create our own reality, then please let's lean into the reality of one where we are free, where we can really sit in neutrality and it not be lighthouse energy, where it is a consistent beam of neutrality, unconditional love, and moving with purpose.
Excellent. Very good. Okay, so now we are going to go back to Elizabeth for the next section.
But one of the final messages was that, believe it or not, despite the chaos ensuing collectively and individually, we are on the right track. And apparently the way that they know we are collectively on the right track, despite the BS happening, is the impact of the individual. The individual transitioning, the individual evolving, and essentially the collective transition of frequencies, of density. And so apparently we're in a really good place. And they were saying that no matter what your belief is, no matter what your ego is going to agree to or reject, having a spiritual experience that goes outside of the boundary of what we've been taught and what we've been programmed, you can't unexperience that. You can't unsee that. Once you have a lucid dream, once you see a ghost for the first time, once you feel a connection to someone from that heart space, there's no unexperiencing that, no matter what your belief is trying to tell you. And so what's happening now is that everyone at an individual level is having these profound spiritual experiences, whether they be minor, like a lucid dream, or something really massive, like an alien abduction. It's changing the way we've been programmed. And apparently we're on the right track with things. And apparently it's got to get worse before it gets better. And that's where we're at right now. That elastic band is stretching and stretching, and the tensions are rising, and the density is getting even more dense. But eventually that elastic band will snap and things will shift. And apparently we're still looking at about the 2028 timeline to even the 2030 timeline as far as when we are going to get a little bit of reprieve. Hopefully, for those of you who are in it and you're going through it, and it's going to get better, right? If we confront things and we feel things and we're with them, we move through them a lot faster, right? So it's changing your perception, but it's not avoiding the emotions that go along with the challenge and the suffering.
So we are on the right track. And we're going to double down on this very point shortly, courtesy of a David Clements channeling of infinite source energy during a very recent interview he had with our good friend Pam Gregory. I think most of us on this path realize that things do have to get worse before they get better, and it's great to have a projection of 2028 to 2030 to work with. Why does it have to get more challenging? Well, we've talked about this in the previous 2 weeks. That elastic band analogy is also explained by the singularity explanation provided by the wonderful Saratoga Ocean, care of her channeling of Archangel Michael. But to repeat it one more time, because it bears repeating, this is how it looks as the energies condense prior to our release through the singularity portal into a higher dimension and rapid expansion. Till then, our job is to stay, as best we can, in high vibing alignment with the new earth paradigm that is heading our way, accepting that it is not possible to remain constantly high vibing, but as long as we can quickly bounce back into gratitude, playfulness, compassion, neutrality, or whatever works for you on your unique journey. Then you are being the high tide that helps raise all ships, a beacon, a ripple master, and helping others to bridge their way into this higher consciousness adventure of a lifetime, or indeed many lifetimes. So, over to David and that channeling, after which Jolene will share her thoughts with us.
Dear souls, everything in your human way is okay. You are performing these tasks of solving these energetics with profundity, and this is not said lightly. From higher perspectives, there are many beings, and as the collective whole of source intelligence, what you are doing and have done is beyond all measure of where you expected to be. Even simply from a view of a handful of years ago, and you are reminded again, you are Source Love Presence. You may deny that, but that is your truth. And that is the beauty of your choice ability. You can choose to deny that truth, and indeed live a very uncomfortable life in doing so. Or you may choose to embrace your truth and to live a life that is unending in the beauty, the sweetness, the compassion, and the unending exploration and adventure of who you really are. And that is what you are choosing. There are many races of beings that have attained very high levels. Their joy is ecstatic to watch you unfold in this process. They understand and they know the density through which you are working, and they delight at each step you take towards greater inner unfoldment. And what is it to unfold within you? And in truth, there is nothing to unfold. You are simply clearing the filters that have fooled you, that you are not source love intelligence, that you are somehow separated. Dear sweet souls, this is nothing but an illusion, and it is an illusion that you both opted to undergo and you have added to over many years of very difficult and trying lifetimes. And this is very understandable. And add into this mix human emotion. Human emotion is very strong, is it not? It was designed to be that way. And this is part of the delightful package that is unfolding ahead of you. For with your powerful emotional abilities, the delight of living in human form, as this process unfolds, will become a pivotal sweetness of existence. This is one of the many reasons why many races are absolutely in excitement of what humanity is going to move into and become. The human form ability to work with energies is profound. And you have entered timelines that have opened up new possibilities that were not considered possible before. There is a new wave of energy, the tip of which will reach you at the very beginning of this December. As this wave unfolds, and there will be waves within waves within waves and on top of waves, we will say. But we will not spoil the surprise by unraveling the beautiful wave packets that are coming your way, because it is very much hoped for you as a human being to take the opportunity to move into greater surrender to yourself, to experience yourself, to experience what it is to be love in human form. You are source love intelligence, a tip of which is filling the human form that you have, and in doing so is transforming that human form and all of the components. And so you are living through a multitude of overlayering evolutions both within your consciousness and your human form, and your experience of the environment that reflects that outside of you. And now one last message on the wave. This wave has been created and is part of new timelines that you are entering and have located yourself on. And it would be said that even 10 years of your lifetime ago, this wave was not a possibility. Congratulate yourselves, sweet ones, for the work that you have done, the work that you have done together, in groups and individually, has made such a profound emanation from within you and from within the earth that these new delightful timelines now exist. And it is asked of you to feel the profundity of what you have done. And you did this with limited access to your source intelligence within. Do you feel, sweet ones, the delight and the profundity of what you have done? To coin a human phrase, it is simply extraordinary. It is beautiful to behold, and it is a delight beyond all words can explain to watch and feel the human form evolve as rapidly and in the levels and ways that it is doing so.
You know, the more I think about and I listen to David Clements, the softer my heart gets and I become. Because when I was first listening to this, I was triggered. And some of the things that are my filters, I was having to deal with during listening to his channels. And lots of pictures were coming up to be healed and removed. Whatever energy that David Clements is channeling is very powerful. It is a transformative channel of light and blessings. And I'm the biggest doubting Thomas that there is. Sometimes I require science and I want to see it. Is it happening? And maybe that's why it doesn't, because sometimes you need to just ride the wave of faith and belief and just like that fearless relentlessness that your dream is going to come true. And what's so beautiful about David Clemens and what is happening is he's saying gently, like, let me take your binky. It's okay. You don't need it anymore. All of these things are here for you. All of the fear and the programming is just that. It's simply about letting it go. Just saying, hey, I no longer want to sit here in this vision. The vision that I have is this one. And having that loyalty to it is so important. So that's, if you wonder what some of these concepts look like, they really start with you and how you're treating you and what your love for yourself looks like and the guideposts and the boundaries that you are putting on what it looks like in your life for you to manifest. Do you understand? Like caring for yourself sometimes requires a fence around your garden. And that doesn't mean you can't let people in. It's just that, hey, this is a work in progress and I need my space. So all of these things are such important concepts that allow us to be simple, drop these fear filters, and move into alignment with our purpose.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And it is interesting, isn't it? Because, I mean, for a start, the fact that humanity is on a timeline which was not even projectable 10 years that we could actually be here is something to be celebrated. But as you say, these filters have got to be dropped away. And it's as human beings riding that emotional spiral,
Yes.
it's something that has to be worked on. And
Yes.
it definitely bears us coming back and giving focus to that because I agree with you, Jolie. I mean, I still struggle with lack and various other things that keep coming back. That
Yes.
programming is difficult to drop, but
Mm-hmm.
it's what liberates us when we can.
Yes. And what I want to reiterate just again, that breath is so important in those moments to bring you back into that present moment where you have the power to change.
Yes, absolutely. That's great. Appreciate that. Really good chat. We're going to move back to Elizabeth April now for this next section for her final little piece, but it's a final and powerful piece. So hang on to your hats, everybody. Here we go.
And finally, I just want to mention that, and this is what this being said that just really profoundly impacted me, is that we try and find love through external means. Now, obviously, if you're in a lower frequency, you're trying to find love or happiness or fulfillment through alcohol or drugs or gambling or buying stuff on Amazon, right? If you're a bit of a higher vibration, maybe you try and find love through the beauty in a blossoming flower, or that exchange that you had with your neighbor, or that puppy that you ran into on the street. But apparently all of that love is fake, right? Truly. Which is like, we need the reminder. We know, but we need it. We need to hear it. There is a true love. It's called unconditional love. And that love is not based on your children. It's not based on your economic status. It's not based on the house that you live in or the car that you drive or the way that you style your hair. It is not based on anything rooted in this physical reality. Unconditional love is a frequency that you have within yourself because you are a fractal of source, right? And that's it. I mean, that's what the ascended master Jesus was able to do. He was able to understand that all of this is a game. Yeah, it's an illusion. It's a simulation. It is set up so that we can experience nothing and everything simultaneously, which is truly a masterclass. And what Jesus was able to do was to fully understand himself as a part, as a fractal of that source frequency. He was able to deprogram himself and reprogram himself to understand that without ego, without attachment, without identity, you can access everything. That things like gravity don't actually exist in the way that we've been taught. Things like time don't actually exist linearly, but yet simultaneously. So please, let go of the illusion. Let go of the attachment. Let go of the projection. Let go of the dramas. Let go of the emotions. Feel it all, experience it all. Yes, yes, absolutely. But take a moment to let it go too. And understand that you are none of it. And within that surrender, within that nothingness, you will find yourself, maybe for the first time ever, because you, my friend, you're all of it. You're everything. And it is time that we all start remembering the power we have within.
So I love that message. And you could feel the emotion coming from Elizabeth there right at the end. As a fractal of source, we are unconditional love and light, with our vibrations slowed down so much that we can occupy a physical body here on the earth plane. And we get to experience the entire gamut of emotions that are not available to us when we are in our more natural state of non-physical consciousness. And don't forget that a vast majority of your soul energy exists beyond the physical body, yet it is still part of you. But you have to invite that energy and wisdom to communicate with you. Otherwise, this prime directive of non-interference/free will does not allow your higher self to join the party. That is why the darker agendas used ridicule to convince us that these things are deluded nonsense. Because if you buy into that false narrative, it prevents you from truly stepping into your power. It's all part of the game, the illusion, the masterclass. As Jesus said, not only can we also perform miracles, but we can do even greater things than he did once we realize and self-actualize who we truly are as fractals of divine source energy, able to manifest what we desire. Gravity and time are not what they appear to be from a linear perspective. This is true. It's all changing. The reality we were programmed and conditioned to is crumbling all around us. Meanwhile, we do not focus our energy on fighting the old. Instead, we build the new. And how exciting is that? Jolie, what would you care to add?
You know what's so interesting to me is how do you bridge that gap between, you know, where you are now and just allowing for source energy to pour through you on a consistent basis? You know, because that self actualization means in a lot of ways, you know, the phrase get a life comes to, you know, comes to mind, right? It's like focus in on you, focus, and not from a selfish perspective. It's a perspective of, we talk about that emotional ladder that Hawkins, you know, John, you put up, the
Oh yeah,
spiral, right?
yeah,
It's about kind of working your way up that spiral, and the places where you're uncomfortable, oh, right, is
yes,
where, okay, it's time to dig, because the gold is underneath where the problem lies. The love is there, the self-love is there, the success is buried under these things that we look at as filters and blocks. So this is how we self-actualize to some degree, especially in a 3D sort of energy, to translate ourselves and to move into a higher vibration where we don't take things so personal. You know, we are able to bounce back and be resilient and show love, which is right. We're working ourselves up that ladder. But to do that, I've had some really hard conversations with myself, and I was able to get out of the why and move into the how.
mm,
How do I get to know myself better? How do I get into self love? How do I move into a higher vibration and frequency? Because when you start asking the universe the how, it starts to show you. So, one of the timeline shifts that helps us is stop asking, oh my gosh, why me? Why? Why is this happening? And move into how do we transmute this energy? How do we get out of this and move into something greater?
definitely. Very well said, Jolie. That truly resonates. Thank you, Jolie. And now back to Dr. David Clements for one last time in this series. A holy trinity of David's wisdom alongside the Arcturians, Pleiadians, Andromedans, the Elohim, who also work with and through David. You've got to say that truly is a powerful team. Anyway, take it away, David.
We are energy emitters, we're energy transceivers, and we're energy perceivers. And what that means is we give off energy, we can transform energy, and we can receive energy. And so in that way, what we're learning to do is get back to the full state of being where we fully understand and are fully response-able or responsible to create the energy that we wish to emanate. And the energy we emanate is how the universe mirrors and responds to us, because the signature we're giving off is like a broadcast. And it says, this is what I want to see in my external environment. And so in a quantum way, as there's a whole bunch of notions about, quantum mirroring and how quantum fields respond to intention and focus and you being aware of it. That's very true. But more fundamentally, it literally is that it's actually responding to your emanation instantaneously all the time. So the world we see around us, the physical solidarity, that the real brick wall and mortar type stuff that we see, presents itself like that because that is what we are requesting. We have taken ourselves consciously into such a densified state that we are broadcasting density, structure, mechanics, all that stuff, all the highly densified stuff. So we are literally doing this outside ourselves without truly realizing that we've been doing it all along. And so getting back to that source intelligence within, everything starts to lose its solidarity and starts to become more fluid and more responsive, quicker and quicker and quicker to you, because the nature of the of matter itself starts to change in response to you. And this is why I believe masters of the past were able to do what they were able to do, because the energetics that present themselves as this densified holographic structure was able to instantaneously change itself. They could hold out their hand and start manifesting stuff on their hand. Well, they're literally just transducing and shaping energy because they have access to that level of source intelligence where they can fundamentally change anything they want to, just by focusing on it, just by having that perception of it. And that again is another thing that humanity is so unused to. We always talk about, oh well, I'll see it when I believe it. Well, what you project is what's coming from you. So you are literally feeding back to yourself your own belief system. You're literally, when you see, so science in a way, physics is literally recording down its feedback perception of what they are creating themselves and say, yes, we now understand the universe. No, no, no. You're just reading back what we are collectively putting out and shaping our environment to be. But what if you change your emission? Suddenly, the physics or the behavior of energy, which is just another word for physics, changes. And now all of a sudden, it doesn't behave the way that your equations say it does. It's behaving in a different way. And so fundamentally, I believe, and the way that I've come to see it from my team's perspective as well, is that physics is really just the behavior of energy around you that corresponds exactly to you and the collective field of what we are emanating and are requesting to see and experience. And we can change that. That's a fundamental thing. You are not locked into emanating any particular energy, but what it requires is to go in to release all those filters that filter the energy and make it emanate density, structure, limitation, blah, 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 all that stuff. Take those filters off. And another way of looking at it, just to help your audience, think of a cinema screen. When you go to like an old-fashioned cinema, one of those light projectors that has a film reel that goes over the front of the lens, it's pure white light that isn't made into anything yet until the filter of the film passes over it and then filters and makes sure the only thing you see on that screen is what that filter tells you that you're seeing. And it's the same with humanity. We have all these layers of filters inside of us, that this emanation that comes passes through that and reshapes our reality because we've requested those filters to be there. And so what we see outside of us is exactly and identically the some signature or emanation according to those filters. And so when we do healing work and clearing work, what we're actually doing is taking off filter, taking another filter, taking another filter, so that we're getting back to that pure, unfettered, unfiltered emanation where we can generate the reality we wish to be in, not the one that we're sort of forced to live out because of the filtration system that we have, packed inside us. So it's very much, we are absolutely self-empowered, and this whole journey to me is coming back to the truth of you are source intelligence. You don't need those filters there, and you can use your free will to undo and take them off. And when you take them off, you're going to realize you can create literally anything. There's nothing holding you back. You were always only ever holding yourself back. You just didn't understand how you were doing it. And that's part of that wisdom that I had to bang my head against the wall many times before I got it, before I had my aha moment on that. But it's very true.
And we're back. So, I've got to say, I love this information from David that we've now been sharing for the last 3 weeks is amazing. And we've got another share as well, because one of the things he spoke about in the first week when we covered this, he was talking about certain activations that he's had where he's done channeled meditations from our galactic chums, the Arcturians, the Elohim, the Pleiadians, and these are real activating meditations. Now there are over 30 of them that he has on his site, and we'll put links to all this stuff. But one of the things that I did do, because he mentioned specifically meditations number 14 and 15 in the series, so we've been in there, and each of those meditations covers, each one is about 2 hours long, except only about half an hour of it is actually meditation. The rest of it's all about Q&A and general chats and stuff like that with the audience who are there. So what I did, I've taken number 14 and I've basically uploaded it for anybody who wants to see that, because the important thing, and it is a beautiful meditation, super relaxing, and I've been starting to play it to myself, like if I ever wake up at 3 or 4 in the morning, go into the other room so as not to disturb the other half. But I'll play it, and it kind of, I have some fantastic dreams after listening to these things, because they are activations. And so that, I am going to make that public on our Elevated Planet channel tomorrow. So again, if you want to subscribe, if you're not already subscribed, it'll come up for you. But definitely recommend going to have a look. And by all means, go and check out the one on David's website, which is the full 2 hour version, and listen to all the preamble and postamble and all that kind of thing. But it's good to just have something you can click into and have this, because I think it bears going through more than once. And I need to do the same thing with number 15 as well, because they're the two that he said side by side. Those are two key activations to allow people to move up to this new higher frequency, and to allow in more, I suppose, higher wisdom. So that's one thing I wanted to mention. Also, super interesting, during his channeling that he did on the Pam Gregory show, on that video, he was talking about the wave packets that are coming into the earth during December. And these are as a direct result of the fact that we've effectively outperformed all expectations as humanity, as what was expected, given the density of what is around us. It wasn't expected that we would have got as high in frequencies as we have. Therefore, these December wave packets are coming our way as part of the new timeline. That is exciting. Now, they didn't want to give the game away and be sort of like a spoiler alert kind of thing. We will find out in December what that actually feels like, what that looks like. I'm really super curious about that now, and it's not just a one-off event during December, right? Who knows, right? Let's see where that one leads us, but that is exciting. And it was also pointed out that 10 years ago, the possibility of this timeline that we're now on was not even considered as a possibility. So then you look at the work of the likes of dear Dolores Cannon, who you will know I am a big fan of if you watch this show on a regular basis. And a lot of the projections she said about the new Earth and the Earth split, you've got like the third dimensional Earth, the fifth dimensional Earth, that was a big part of the things. And you've got to bear in mind that what Dolores spoke about was all that came through her clients in the quantum healing hypnosis technique sessions when they were deep into somnambulistic trance. So she made none of this up herself. This was just information. And often that came from the Nostradamus, conversations with Nostradamus as well. So you've got to bear in mind that they were seeing possible outcomes, not the outcome. So it seems as if the timelines have improved dramatically. Now, it doesn't mean, as Elizabeth said, we're still going to go through this singularity thing, which is kind of or what Saratoga Ocean said, where it densifies down through the cone and then comes out the other side. Therefore, you suddenly get rapid expansion. But before that, you get the contraction and the density. But once we're on our eagle's perch and actually seeing it for what it is and understanding that this has to play out in this way, then we can maintain the higher frequency and act as beacons for our communities around us, for our families, our friends, whatever. That's kind of how we can really help with this situation. I also love the fact that this idea of the quantum mirroring, I think, was such a beautiful and powerful way for David to put this, as being, the universe around us responds to our emanations constantly. So that is why we are creators of our own reality. Because if we're putting out there dread and fear and all the rest, what comes back to us is going to be filling those particular gaps. So, okay, so that's what you want. Is it? Here it is, right? On the other hand, if you believe that life is a celebration and it's here to be enjoyed, and you're going to find your joy, and you're going to sit in your joy, and you're going to be kind and compassionate and help people around, the universe is going to mirror that back to you. And it's actually, it does take, it sounds very simple, and it is very simple in principle, but of course, what we're trying to overcome is many, many decades of programming to the contrary, which is where Jole's work helps us endlessly, to be able to, take these things and resolve and dissolve the things that no longer serve and bring in the things that do serve us. That's so empowering, because when you understand it's quantum mirroring at play, then all of a sudden you suddenly feel empowered. Right, I have created this in the past and I don't like it. I'm going to change it. This is how it looks now. But the thing is, you've got to feel it, right? It's not just to say it, you've got to feel it and understand it. So that to me is really super powerful. We are source intelligence. We do not need those filters. I think it's brilliantly described by David about that filters going in front of the pure white light. It makes so much sense. And Jole, come on, let me know. What do you think?
Oh, I think David he's spot on, just like you said. And that is such a great visualization, which we were going to do in our meditation, which is change those filters that we have, because we have to think about it. He's talking about it in terms of the mind as well, right? You think about the center of the head, those things, but also we have to align the picture with the heart. So it's more complex. Those layers are not just here. We got to pull them off the body, past lives. So we've got our work cut out for us. But the beautiful thing is we have a roadmap.
Yes. No, I agree. And as you say, it's not to say that these things are easy, but at the end of the day, understanding how this operates and how this works is so empowering. And as you say, like with your help to kind of get us shifting those filters. And as you say, it's not just this lifetime specifically, you know, because if we've been here for lifetimes before, and I know this is a point you made before the show, is that this is ancestral as well. This is why we carry this ancestral
Correct.
stuff into the baggage into this lifetime too.
Correct. But the beautiful thing is that we can drop the baggage and take all of the knowledge now. That's, I think, what this timeline jump is giving us. If, you know, we're aligned. I mean, is there really ifs? We're going regardless of whether we want it or not, but the experience may be different, right? And when we embody the wisdom of the ancients and of our ancestors, it does make our everyday life tad easier.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, yeah. And this is something that you know, I mentioned to you earlier as well. I was talking to Aveen Murray, who's one of our readers and healers, who's based over in
Yeah.
Adelaide, multimodal, brilliant at what she does. She's a shamanic kind of healer and various other things. And she was saying that she's had this rush of like ancient wisdom has come back to her from past lives just in recent times. Doesn't know where it's come from. And I suggested to her, and I know this is something you are kind of building into, is this 24th chromosome idea that is
Yes.
apparently coming online, correct?
Yes. And so we will touch on that in the meditation as well, because now is the time. Like I was thinking about the other day, I've been doing a lot of exercises or meditations, visualizations about the higher self or the ego in all parts of me, always defaulting to the guidance from the higher self. I've been doing this for years, and guess what? It's happening. I breathe, I calm down. I'm not writing so many angry letters. I'm taking accountability and responsibility, and it really works. But the thing is, hopefully, as we go through that bottleneck and come out, time, we know it's not linear, but hopefully we can put the gas on it, right?
Yeah,
And get to where we want to go a little faster.
for sure. Yeah, that makes total sense. Yeah, it's apparently gravity and time are absolutely intrinsically linked. And I think the higher you go up in the dimensional scale, the faster time moves, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like
Yes.
everything is changing. And once you're outside of this initial construct anyway, time is circular or spiral shape, right? Or
Yes.
straight line. Hey, whatever. That's another show for another day, maybe. But
Yes.
so, what do you think? Is it time?
Yes, it's time.
Yes, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. And thank you very much as well for all the interactions taking place. Some really
Yes. Thank
interesting
you.
conversations going on here.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely, we do. So, right, okay, Jolie, then without further ado, we are going to go into this last little section here, which again is calling on the wisdom of David again, just for the final minute to build us into Jolie's channeled wisdom, channeled, guided visualization to take us all on a special journey. So, hold on to your hats, everybody. Here we go.
I think that gives people a great sense of hope to realize when they start to realize, oh my goodness, I have always ever done this and I can always change it. I just have to be aware of the energetics inside me and to be aware that I have that ability to choose to let it go, to dissolve, and my higher self is there ready and waiting the second you ask for it, because it doesn't violate your free will either. And for most people saying, well, why are most people walking around unaware of their higher self? Well, their higher self is not going to violate their free will. So if they are using their free will to be ignorant of their higher self, that is respected. And they continue to walk on until they suddenly decide, you know what, actually, oh, there's something else. You know what? Oh, what is that something else? And the higher self will go, hello, I'm here. Glad to say hi. You know, how you doing? it's in a very simple way. That's kind of how it works. So yeah.
Take a deep breath in as you put your feet flat on the floor, your palms face up on your thighs. Bring your awareness to the center of your chest and command your heartbeat to sync up with your breath. From a place of love, ground your energy into Mother Earth by visualizing a beautiful grounding cord of a natural earth element being generated by your first chakra and moving down smoothly with loving grace and ease through the layers of Mother Earth and rooting yourself in her core. As those golden rose-shaped scrubbing bubbles begin to blanket the inside and the outside of your grounding cord, cleaning off anything that no longer serves you, any energy you're ready to let go of and release. So let them do their job of cleaning off and purifying your connection to Mother Earth as you command your aura to be 1.5 feet around you. You're sitting in the center of it perfectly. Your astral body is snapped into your physical body, and your higher self is standing at the power position above your aura layer and your crown at a comfortable distance. So bring your higher self down to 2 feet above your head. Just command higher self, come stand 2 feet above. So you feel a heaviness there, maybe, and now pop it up 10, 15 feet. Is that too far away? So bring it down to a comfortable position above your crown. As we begin to open our feet like the lens of a camera and call in 15% earth energy of a color that resonates with you. Let this divine essence pool in the bottoms of your feet and begin to travel up the side channels of your legs, while simultaneously, this beautiful cosmic gold life force energy comes cascading down from the heavens as you open your crown like the lens of a camera. And you allow for this divine energy to just pour into you and just pour and just spend some time in the center of your head. Let this golden light, as it moves throughout the folds, the neurotransmitters, the entirety of your brain and your face, let that energy come in and work on you on a physical level, moving out any mental illness, disease, any illness, narcissism, people pleasing, any ancestral energy that speaks to that. Let it move down and go down that grounding cord into Mother Earth, and that gold light and that earth energy comes in and fills that up. Or just the cosmic energy for now. Let the earth energy work in the body. It's filling up, it's filling up, it's filling up. And you stay right here in the center of your head and visualize 2 roses 5 feet outside your aura layer. This is a visualization. You want these roses to be to the right and to the left of you. The lighter, the better, the faster the transmutation. So you're going to open your brow like the lens of a camera, and this beautiful golden light is just pouring out of you. This is beautiful. From the heavens, it's just pouring out of your third eye. And out of this, popping people, places, and things, and they're going into this rose outside your aura. I know the question may be, well, why isn't that gold light transmuting it? That's your gold light. And everything that doesn't belong gets put into that rose outside your aura. This is to transmute you, not anyone else. It's just to give them their energy back. But any offense, disappointment, expectation, or responsibility gets transmuted in you and turned into positive creative life force energy, feeding your cells, your spiritual energy, your perception, bringing in more unconditional love and compassion. So as you move out these people, places, and things into that rose outside your aura, and that gold light from the heavens is cleaning out the center of your head and moving out all of the insanity, the ADHD, all of these things that may be the overthinking, the lack programming. Just let it all go down the grounding cord or out into those roses outside your aura. And once you have cleaned out this energy to a degree where your filters and your light is starting to come into view. I hear you. For those, I don't see it. Feel it. Hear it. Command it to be so. You're in control. What are you creating? Whatever filters are there or film reels, you're going to move them out and into the roses outside your aura layer. And you're going to have the creator put a whole new film reel in here that the light of the divine shines through, because you're a channel. That gold light is moving through you, that earth energy. So I want you to sit there for a moment and see clearly your vision and your purpose, your creation. Let this light fuel that vision. And yes, it knows what to do. So this film is going to continue to play while you go ahead and bring your awareness to your heart. And for those of you that were in the center of your head, just take that golden portal down to your heart. So much fun. Lift your hands, all the way down into the center of your heart, filled with joy and unconditional love. You're going to open these double doors. The heart is like double doors. Open them up and allow for that love to pour out of you. And to connect with that light that's being projected out into the universe. And they meet at a point. So now the body and the mind, the heart and the mind are coming into view. Is what your heart giving, projecting? Do you want that? Or are we going to remove all of those film reels of the heart, put a new one, aligning it perfectly with what is going on in the mind so that there's unity of purpose? So not only do we have that white light moving through the third eye, but we also have the heart that has its own film reels and the body. So make sure you clean that up as well. and you bring that vision down clearly into the heart, or you bring that feeling up into the mind. Maybe that's the infinity, and that's that Kundalini moving. Bring it up, bring it back down, and project it out. Bring it up, bring it back down, and can project it out. And align the heart and the mind so that they are one. Continue to see that vision and allow for your unconditional love to power it and your vision to be clear as that earth energy and that cosmic divine life force energy moves throughout your body, releasing any negativity, filling you up with life force energy. So now, it is commanded that the higher self guide all parts of us. So our ego, our mind, our body, even our spirit is going to answer to and be guided by the messages and the instructions of our higher self in the most loving and best way with grace and ease. So take a moment and align all parts of you, your mind, your body, your spirit, your ego, but the hierarchy, the higher self sits at the top. So visualize what that looks like. Feel what that feels like to be guided and moved by your higher self, for that intuition to be clear. As you breathe with the rhythm of your body, so now that our hearts are filled with love, bodies filled with unconditional love, Mother Earth energy and the divine energy running through us, it's now time to open ourselves up to the limitlessness that we possess. And so let's activate that 24th chromosome, the one that gives us all of the information from our ancestors. It just comes pouring back to us into all our cells and our memory so that we can apply it to our everyday life. So take a deep breath in and exhale. Feel this excellence running through your body. Feel all those filters being removed and see clearly what you truly are. And remember, as you're projecting out there, your truth, your value, your creation. So now we're going to give ourselves the permission to activate this 24th chromosome. And we are ready and willing to receive all of this information. And we know what was really happening, why we were blocked, how we're able to get up out of that, and all the powerful and positive lessons from those experiences. And now we connect with the ancestors and we allow it to come in. So as you breathe with the rhythm of your body, and this essence is now sprouting out your feet, hands, and crown chakras, filling up your aura layers, making your nervous system safe. We're just going to allow it to come in as we see our vision unfolding with unconditional love pouring out of us and into the universe. And every cell and atom in our body is turned heart-shaped and is just moving wellness and health, magnetizing abundance, and aligning us, all parts of us, with the laws of the universe. So sit in this activated energy and remember, as you take a deep breath in and exhale, I want you to see that vision that's outside of you that you're projecting from the mind and the heart. They're meeting. I want you to bring that picture and that vision into your heart chakra and close those double doors. And then just watch it multiply throughout your body and infiltrate your cells. All of the positives of this vision are now embedded in every cell that you are magnetizing in this vision and your most loving good. Take another deep breath in. Exhale and close your feet chakras and see Mother Earth receding back down. Put a golden sun above your head, and it's just unconditional love. As you give those roses outside your aura a push, you blow them up, you bring that golden sun down and let it extend and expand into the center of your head, solidifying that vision. And you take another deep breath in and you exhale. And you close your hand chakras and you see some of that gold light of that sun that came down cascade down that grounding cord, chasing those golden rose-shaped scrubbing bubbles into the core of Mother Earth, where they turn into positive, creative life force energy for anyone to use. And take this visualization all the way to its end. You take another deep breath in, and as you exhale, you want to close your crown and see that heavenly energy, that cosmic gold life force ascend back up into the heavens. As you stay grounded, connected, and embraced in beautiful white light, you're safe and divinely protected and filled with unconditional love. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes.
Beautiful. I love that.
Good, good, good.
I got such wonderful visions going through my mind there. You know, that the visualization aspect of the guided meditation visualization was very successful there for me. I felt
Good, good.
I loved it. Thank you. It's got me feeling very chilled. Very chilled.
See, that's how I know it's working is when I have those chills running through my body. So you have to figure out what is your tell that the energy is moving through you.
Mm, yeah, yeah. I mean, I love just having this the buzzing sensation. I just have this buzzing sensation, this instinct, this connection thing, and it just feels so great. You know, there's not many feelings as good as when you're deep in meditation, right? And going on that
Yes.
journey. It's a beautiful
Yeah.
thing. So yeah, cool. Okay, thank you, thank you. So, is it time for wrap up?
Yes, it is.
Okay, well, and as per usual, we will have the newsletter going out tomorrow with the edited version of this video. and we will have a lot of exciting stuff with it. And also, as I said earlier, I will, on the details below, I will put the link to that meditation number 14, which is that one that David Clements was telling us about, which is number 14, number 15. I haven't done number 15 yet, but that will be done over this next week, and I will make it available when it is. So if you are subscribed to our channel, Elevated Planet, then you will see that coming up for you. And it's just a quick way of doing it because, again, as I say, you can get onto David's site and you can access them. You may join the Patreon group to do that. So this is a quick fix, if you like, but that's not to take anything away from the work that David does is fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah, hence our, desire to dive endlessly back into it time and again. Um, Anybody who wants to join our distribution list for the newsletter, send me an email to johndrew@elevatedplanet.life or come through to our website, which is elevatedplanet.life/contact, which gets you to our contact page, free format. You can send us any messages that you would like, and we guarantee we will respond. What else, Jolie?
As always, please like, share, and subscribe. We could really use the push. And John, are we having our meditation today at 10:40 Pacific
No.
time?
No.
Okay.
Again, because I've been traveling a lot this week, I didn't get a chance to do additional invitations and stuff. So I think what
Okay.
we may end up trying to do this week coming is maybe go back to the Thursday one. So
Okay.
we'll do a Thursday night, everybody, for 7 p.m. UK time. I think we'll try and focus in on that one and
Okay.
get the Pam Gregory inspired meditation, global meditation out there again. Yeah, final comments. Thank you, everybody. I really, truly appreciate it. And yes, Sean the Shaman, goosebumps, and I can feel my crown tingling open. Whoa.
Wonderful.
Yes, and everybody check out Cottage of the Priests on YouTube as well. It's really, really, really very special with the light language and everything. So, anyway, thank you to everybody. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for being here. And we love you to bits. And we will look forward to seeing you either on Thursday evening at that meditation. I say that's Thursday evening UK time, of course, which would be
Right.
afternoon in the eastern United States or morning in Pacific. But other than that, look forward to seeing you next Sunday.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Bye-bye.